Okay, so the show me, tell me questions as they're known. Just going to go through them in the order to which the DSA print them out, just because that's the way we're going to put them underneath this video, and it would be easy if you follow that way. So we'll be jumping from the bonnet to the car, etc. Basically how they do it is there's 19 questions put into 14 categories, I think there is, and you'll be asked one of those categories, which includes 2 questions. We'll put this list underneath this video so you'll see all the questions and the categories that they go in. Don't worry about the categories too much. Don't try and remember which one's going to follow the first one, because that's not important. Okay, they come into sort of 3 categories really, which is basically show me, tell me, but the tell me is broken down to 2 parts. You've got tell me with questions you'll be asked in the car, just outside the car. Questions you'll be asked to point things under the bonnet, and you'll show pictures come up on these videos to show you where they are in this car. And this is a Mercedes A-Class. In different cars they may be different, but the questions are exactly the same. The answers are the same, except for you'll be pointing in a different place if it's under the bonnet. And then there's the show me, which is basically you would actually be doing something. So you'd be fiddling with the handbrake or the steering wheel, and you'll see little videos on those as well. Okay, so we'll go through these in the order to which they're just on this list, because you can follow this list then. Okay, so show me how you would check the direction indicators are working is the question. The answer is apply the indicators or hazard warning switch and check function of all indicators. May need to switch ignition on, but don't turn the engine on. Okay, so just one click, lights come on the dashboard, should work. I think the easiest way to do this is put the hazard warning lights on. There's normally a button in the middle of the dashboard which is a warning triangle sign, and you press that and you can hear it flashing now, and that you can check all 4 indicators. The examiners expect you to get out of the vehicle and check all 4 indicators, but actually you can check them without getting outside the vehicle, because if they tick in a rhythm like that, then you know they're okay. If they go tick 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 tick, then you know there's a bulb gone. But they want you to get outside the vehicle and actually check it. Okay, you can do each individual indicator, but it means you go in and out of the vehicle. So hazard warning lights are best. Check rear instructor, because I know coursers, for example, older coursers have a problem with trying to get the hazard warning light back off again, so just check it's okay to do that. Tell me how you would check all the brakes are working before starting a journey. So this is a tell me, it's not a show me, so just literally going to tell them, and the answer is brakes should not feel spongy or slack, brakes should be tested as you set off, vehicles should not pull to one side. So in other words, if your brakes weren't being effective, when you braked you wouldn't get the same response you normally get, and it would just feel not quite right. Spongy is the effect. You'll be pressing down but not much would be going on. A bit like a bicycle when the brakes aren't very good, you know, you press the brakes and you just keep going, don't you? And eventually they snap sometimes and you suddenly go over the handlebars. So that's how it feels. And also, if there's just one side working, which shouldn't happen with modern vehicles, but if that was the case, you'd feel the car pulling, because the side that's not braking is going to want to carry on. So if your left brakes are working, your rights aren't, the car will pull to the left. Shouldn't happen in modern vehicles, as I say, but that's the answer they're looking for. Okay, identify the windscreen washer reservoir is, and tell me how you would check the windscreen washer level. The answer is open. No, it's not. Let's get the right question, would be good. Identify the reservoir and explain how to check the level. So basically, you'll see popping up now a picture of the reservoir in my car. In my car, there isn't sometimes a minimum and maximum. Doesn't tend to be on windscreen wiper fluid. So you pop normally a blue cap, you pop that up, have a look in. If you can see fluid, you're okay. If you can't, you need to top it up basically. But there might be a minimum and maximum, but probably have to pull the lid off and have a look again. Ask your instructor for their individual car. One's a show me, so you would physically do this. Show me how you would check the brake lights are working on this car. And the examiner will say, I can assist you if you need me to. What you would do is you normally have to switch the ignition on. Again, don't start the engine, just turn the car a click or 2 clicks, depending on the vehicle. What you would then do is operate the brake pedal and make use of reflections in the windows, garage doors, etc., or ask someone to help, and this could be the examiner. So you could press the pedal and say to the examiner, or can you check the brake lights for me, to make sure they are working. Okay, and that's that one. So don't be afraid to ask the examiner to help you, because you can't press the pedal and look out the back, or he could press the pedal and you could look out the back, but they prefer you to press the pedal and them to look out the back. Okay, so they want to know you know how to do it. Next one is a show me again. Show me and explain how you would check the power assisted steering is working before starting a journey. Quite a long answer this one, I'll explain what it means in a moment. If the steering becomes heavy, the system may not be working properly. Before starting a journey, 2 simple checks can be made. Gentle pressure on the steering wheel maintained while the engine is started should result in a slight but noticeable movement as the system begins to operate. Alternatively, turn the steering wheel while after moving off will give you an immediate indication the power assist steering is functioning. In other words, when you move off and you can steer normally, it's working. If you move off and it's really heavy, just sort of really, then it's not working. Basically, simple as that. It's not moving, and I'm trying to move it. Start the engine, and it moves. See? That shows you the power assist steering is working. So that's how you do the steering. They probably want you to do that one there, or let's say you're just about to move off because it's the second question, and that's actually it's the first question, which is a bit weird. So they probably want you to start it and wiggle it, and as you start it, as you can see, it goes like that. The next question is, tell me where you would find the information for the recommended tyre pressure for this car and how tyre pressure should be checked. Okay. Basically, you look in the manufacturer's guide, but you don't do this, you just tout them. You tell them you look in the manufacturer's guide and use a reliable pressure gauge. So that's one at a garage, for example, that's checked regularly. Check and adjust the pressure when tyres are cold. Don't forget spare tyre. Remember to refit valve caps. Remember, you're telling them this, you're not doing it, okay? So you're just telling them how to do it, and that's how you would do it. You would just use a reliable gauge and make sure that you put the valve caps back on, and make sure you do the spare tyre, because it's no good if you get a flat tyre, get the spare out and that's flat as well. That'd be a bit annoying, wouldn't it, on a rainy Friday? It's always raining, it's always a Friday, it's always dark when that happens, trust me. Okay, next question. Show me how you would check the parking brake, handbrake, for excessive wear. Make sure you keep safe and control of the vehicle. The answer is apply the foot brake firmly. Demonstrate by applying handbrake so that when it's fully applied it secures itself and is not at the end of its working travel. Put the foot on the foot brake, which you can't see what I'm doing. I put the handbrake down and I put it up and it secures the car. Take the foot brake, car's not going anywhere, but if I needed to it would go up further, which means it's not at the end of its travel. Okay, I won't put that far because it won't be able to move. So it goes up, secures, but could go further if you needed to. Okay. So open the bonnet, identify where you would check the engine oil and tell me how you would check the engine has sufficient oil. So again, it's a tell me, not a show me. Identify the dipstick, which again there'll be a picture popping up here. Oil level indicator. Describe to check the oil level against the minimum maximum mark. So what you actually do is you would say to them, I'll pull it out, I'd wipe it, I'd put it back in, I'd put it out again, I'll check it against the minimum maximum mark. Again, I'll show you pictures. All dipsters are different, and if I needed oil I would undo this cap and I would put oil in there. Okay, do the cap up, etc., and then check it again. But the official answer is identifies this dip, describe checking of level against the minimum maximum mark. But I would go into a little bit more detail. I said wipe it, put it in, take it out. When the engine is cold on most vehicles. Okay, it is on this one. Right, next one is open the bonnet, identify where you would check the engine coolant level and tell me how you would check the engine has the correct level. So it says the answer is identify the high and low level markings on the header tank where fitted, or radiator filler cap, and describe how to top up correct level. Again, you'll see a picture pop up here, but on my car it's got a minimum maximum mark, and if it was below the minimum you would then top it up by taking the cap off and putting the water in. Okay. Tell me how you make sure the head restraint is correct, adjusted so it provides the best protection in the event of a crash. Okay, so the answer is the head restraint should be adjusted so the rigid part of the head restraint is at least as high as the eyes or top of the ears and as close to the back of the head as comfortable. Note, some restraints might not be adjustable. Okay, I've deliberately got this one down to show you this. On this car, like taking a throw in, and most cars it is, you go a bit like that, you put it up, as you can now see that is, my ears are in this bit here. The other way to test is put your hand at the back of your head, the bit that sticks out, put it back, and if your hand hits the headrest, your back of your head would hit the headrest, and then you're fine. But that's basically where it is now. So, open the bonnet, identify where the brake fluid reservoir is, and tell me how you would check that you have a safe level of hydraulic brake fluid. The answer is identify the reservoir, check level against high-low markings. Okay, I know that some cars don't have a high-low marking. This one does, but it's very difficult to see. If they don't have a high and low marking, then you have to wait for the light to come on or take the cap off and have a look. Have a look at the handbook for that. Again, your instructor will tell you on each individual car, but may or may not have an on high and low, but you would just say check against high and low. Remember, you're not showing them, you're telling them, but you would have the bonnet open, so you have to say, oh, that's the reservoir over there, and you check it against the high and low, or a light comes on the dashboard. Again, you need to check that with your instructor, I'm afraid. Okay, tell me how you would check the tyres to ensure that they have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe for use on the road. The answer is no cuts or bulges, 1.6mm of tread depth across the central 3/4 of the breadth of the tyre and around the entire outer circumference. Okay, I'll show you a picture of this, but basically it's got to be 1.6mm, which you need a gauge for, and it's for 3/4 of the width of the tyre. So the tyre's that wide, it's for that bit, if that makes sense, for the central 3/4 and all the way around the tyre. Okay, also, you know, check the spare. Remember, this is a tell me, not me show me, so you literally tell them this. Also, on most tyres, there's I think on all of them actually, there's a little bulge within the tread, and if that bulge is level with the top of the tyre, then you're on the 1.6mm. That little bulge is the 1.6mm, and if I can get a picture of it, then I'll stick a picture up here of that too. Okay. Next question, show me how you would check that the horn is working off-road only. Check is carried out by using control, in other words using the horn, turn ignition if necessary. So on this car, turn ignition, I'll give the horn a bib. Have a look around, make sure I'm not going to, like that. Okay, so you can do that, but you must be off-road. So if it's a test centre that you park on the road, then you wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. That is a show me. So if they can't do it, they wouldn't ask you that question. Show me how you would clean the windscreen using windscreen washer and wipers. Okay. Operate control to wash or wipe windscreen, turn ignition on if necessary. So again, all cars are different. You turn the ignition on in this car, at the end of the windscreen wiper controls is a button, you press that in and that cleans the windscreen and does 4 or 5 washes. You can hear it, you can't see it. But again, you need to just check with your instructor, because that is a show me. Tell me how you would check the headlights. This is a tell me. Tell me how you would check the headlights and tail lights are working. No need to exit the vehicle. So in other words, you're just going to tell them this answer, you're not going to show them. You used to show them this one, but there was lots of cars that had lights out and they couldn't conduct the test then, so I think they just decided to tell them instead. So you would say operate switch, turn ignition if necessary. Then so operate the switch would be the switch for the lights. All cars are different, so on this car it's on the right hand side, twist it across. Again, you would get your instructor to show you that. Walk around the vehicle as if it was a tell me question. There is no need to physically check the lights. So what you're saying is, I would turn them on, put the ignition on if necessary, I'd walk around the vehicle and check them, make sure okay. You would tell them that, not do them that. It's quite important, that bit, okay? So you would tell them what you would do, you wouldn't actually do it. A bit confusing, I know, but they've changed the rules on that. Okay, show me how you would set the Demister controls to clear the windscreen efficiently. This should include both front and rear screens. Okay. So you would say it's a show me, so you would literally do it basically. So on this car you've got some dials, again a picture will pop up now of that. So you would turn the Demister up, you would put it onto the windscreen like that, and to do the back one you would press, which is normally a square with little wiggly lines going up it, and you would press that and that would demist the back. But remember, you are going to show them that. So the actual answer is set all relevant controls including fan, temperature, air direction, source and heat screen to the windscreen and windows, and it does not have to be started for this demonstration. You actually have to do it, what you just show them. Hopefully your instructor will already set all that up before. I always set that up before a test, so you don't demist anyway, or don't mist up, sorry. So you would just say, I'd set them up as they are now, and I would press this button here, which is the demister button. Again, get your instructor to show you. But how you would switch on the rear fog lights and explain when you would use them. No need to exit the vehicle. So show me how you would. Don't necessarily have to do it. Well, it says operate the switch, so show me how you would do it. So on this car, you turn the lights on and then you pull the lever out. Okay, you have to turn the lights on first. Again, you would check. So operate switch, turn on dipped headlights and ignition if necessary. Check warning light is on. Explain use. The explain use is you wouldn't use it unless the visibility was less than 100 meters, which is very, very foggy. If you put them on when it's not that foggy, then you could cause confusion to other vehicles. They could think you're braking, because some cars, they are the brake lights as well. Okay, tell me how you would know if there was a problem with your anti-lock braking system. The answer is warning light should illuminate if there is a fault with the anti-lock braking system. So a light would come on that says ABS. If you click the ignition just to the setting just before you start, all the warning lights should come on to show you they're working, and the one says ABS. It's a circle with half circles on either side, and it says ABS. If that's on when you're driving, you must stop the vehicle because your ABS might not work. Next question, show me how you switch the headlights and dipped main beams, and explain how you would know that the main beam is on while inside the car. So you operate the switch, ignition or engine on, check the main beam warning light. So again, it's not a get out of the vehicle job. So you put the lights on, main beam on this car is pull the lever away from you, and a blue light comes on the dashboard. A blue light with straight lights coming out of it. The dip beam is a green light with lines going down, the blue is out, and that's how you would know. So you put them on and say the blue lights come on, so I know they're on. So hopefully that's helpful to you. The list is below. It's taken off the DSA site, so it's their list, but we've put it on there so you can see it. It's done in such a way that it's done in the category, so you'll see the same questions come up twice. I've just gone through the questions once here. As always, any questions, contact me and I will go through them for you. Thank you.